Now, the Princess of Wales is celebrating her 44th today. It's almost a year, actually, since she announced she was in remission from cancer.
Well, yesterday she joined her husband, Prince William, in surprising NHS staff and volunteers at Charing Cross Hospital. Our royal correspondent, Cameron Walker, was with them.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! We can still say that, can't we?
A warm surprise for those working through cold winter pressures. The Prince and Princess of Wales visited London's Charing Cross Hospital yesterday to show their support for a struggling institution. Here's Gail Scott-Spicer, the boss of Imperial Health Charity.
It makes a massive difference for the staff and volunteers and the patients to feel the support of people like their Royal Highnesses at what's a very difficult time with winter pressures for all of the NHS.
2026 is going to be a good year?
Prince William told health leaders the use of charities could have a far greater impact.
It needs the support, it needs that kind of energy and that renewed momentum. We all applauded all the NHS for many weeks on end through COVID. This kind of feels like a bit of a moment to remind ourselves why we did all that applauding, and that actually the next stage, the next energy level into the NHS could really come from the likes of all of you around this room.
Communities across Britain are supported by NHS Charities Together, which improves patients' care through funding facilities, green spaces and arts projects.
It must make a big difference to you having that bit of extra there in the workforce, but also to be able to build those relationships with patients and things like that.
The Prince and Princess have been joint patrons since the pandemic. Alvina, who's a volunteer, noticed it was particularly personal for the Princess.
Cancer has affected her thought process, and speaking with us, you could tell like she really relates to us and she appreciates what we do.
But for all the buzz and excitement, a harsh reality still grapples the NHS. Hospital admissions for winter viruses remain high and bed capacity is above 90%. Here's consultant Dr. Ursula Ersinger.
Things like people falling in the ice. We had a huge spike in attendances yesterday because of that. So there's all the usual pressures and obviously staff sickness and other issues within that. But we're all trying our best and soldiering on and aiming to provide the best care possible.
Today, the Princess of Wales celebrates her 44th birthday. She's expected to remain out the spotlight, marking the day privately with her family. Cameron Walker, GB News in London.
The Princess of Wales has just turned 44 years old, and Kensington Palace released a deeply personal video message. But this isn't just a birthday celebration. It comes almost a year after Kate revealed she was in remission from cancer. And now many royal watchers are asking, is this the beginning of a carefully planned royal comeback? Or is the palace trying to rebuild public sympathy after a year of intense speculation and controversy surrounding her health? Because behind the beautiful message and nature imagery, some critics believed this is strategic royal image management. Do you think Kate's return to public messaging is genuine or carefully planned royal PR?
Well, Cameron's here in the studio now. It must have been quite a treat yesterday seeing Catherine, because she wasn't expected, was she?
No, she wasn't. So we were told that the Prince of Wales would be visiting Charing Cross Hospital to show support for the volunteers and patients and staff there. And then about 15 minutes, 20 minutes beforehand, we got given a message that the Princess of Wales has decided to join her husband as well. Both of them are joint patrons of NHS Charities Together, which is kind of a conglomerate, really, of 220 charities around the country which support the NHS as an institution with its work, which I think many people perhaps don't really understand this. You've got the NHS, which is funded by taxpayers, but then there's all these charities, which obviously are donated to, which provide kind of extra services. So what you saw in my report there was kind of art therapy in the neurological ward, and you saw some kind of physiotherapy and physical therapy for those recovering from brain injuries. And all of that is partly funded by charities, and that's what their Royal Highnesses were kind of supporting there yesterday. They started being patrons during the coronavirus pandemic, but of course the patients and the staff and the volunteers were not aware the Prince and Princess were coming. All they were told was that there were VIPs coming. And then all of us turn up with the camera crew and cameras. There's about 5 or 6 of us in the media, Royal Rota that day. And then the Prince and Princess obviously walk in, and the gasps from the volunteers who clearly give up their time to help patients, and being able to sit down with the Prince and Princess, talk about the volunteering they do. And also the Prince and Princess, particularly the Princess, can really kind of sympathise with what the patients have gone through, given her own cancer journey, and that is something that the Prince actually talked about with hospital bosses at the end of the visit too, that they have that kind of shared personal experience. So it was quite a moment for those at Charing Cross Hospital in West London yesterday.
Yeah, such a moment for them. Let's hope it's an easier year as well for Catherine. 2026 is set to be a good one for her. Thank you very much.
Just a day before her birthday, Kate and Prince William made an unannounced visit to Charing Cross Hospital in London. The visit surprised NHS staff and volunteers dealing with winter pressures, but royal commentators immediately noticed something interesting. The palace initially told reporters only Prince William would attend. Then, suddenly, Kate appeared as well. Some analysts believe this was a strategic surprise moment designed to generate emotional headlines. Others argue it simply shows Kate slowly returning to public life. Was this a genuine surprise visit or a carefully staged royal moment?
Breaking news, Kensington Palace have just released a video to mark the Princesses of Wales' 44th birthday. RGB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker is here with us now. Cameron, tell us more.
Yeah, deeply personal message from the Princess of Wales. Of course, it's 2 years this January that the Princess went into hospital for her major abdominal surgery where cancer was discovered, and then 1 year since she announced she was in remission. And the Princess has released a short statement, a written statement, first of all, before we play the video. She says the Mother Nature series, she released a kind of Mother Nature series, an instalment of how nature's kind of helped her heal and getting back to nature, has been a deeply personal, creative reflection on how nature has helped me heal. But it is also a story about the power of nature and creativity and collective healing. There is so much we can learn from Mother Nature as we look to build a happier, healthier world. Let's hear from the Princess of Wales.
Even in the coldest, darkest season, winter has a way of bringing us stillness, patience, and quiet consideration, where the stream slows just enough for us to see our own reflection, to discover the deepest parts of ourselves, alongside the whispers and the pulse of every living thing. I find myself reflecting on how deeply grateful I am. For the rivers within us flow with ease. Fears washed away. Cleanse and purify. Come to peace with our tears and discover what it means to be alive. To be at one with nature, a quiet teacher and a soft voice that guides. In memory, helping us to heal.
Well, that was lovely, wasn't it, Cameron? I really enjoyed that. I mean, it's so nice to hear from her, especially after the health scare you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, very therapeutic. The final instalment, as I say, you may have seen the Princess of Wales pop up there on a walk in Berkshire, but there are other places around the UK there. We had Cumbria, we had Gloucestershire, we had London, we had East Sussex, and the Cotswolds. The Princess is really concerned, actually, about the rise of digital uses and screen time, particularly AI and social media use with young people. I heard her talk about AI, actually, yesterday at a hospital hospital visit I was on with her. But she recently wrote about the challenges and how she really wants, I think we're going to see perhaps this year, her really trying to encourage the British public to get back out in nature rather than spending too much time on screen, particularly in a very complex world and a very complicated world at the moment. But this, as I said, the final instalment of her Mother Nature video series, and it's basically her telling the public how nature and getting out and about in nature really helped her come to terms with her cancer diagnosis and her healing journey. And of course, she remains in remission, and she's saying in that video how grateful she is to be as healthy as she is.
During the visit, Prince William emphasized the importance of NHS charities supporting the healthcare system. These charities fund patient therapy programs, green spaces, art projects, recovery programs. However, this also raises an uncomfortable conversation. Why does a taxpayer-funded health system still rely heavily on charity donations? Some critics say royal visits to hospitals highlight a deeper issue within the healthcare system. Supporters say the royal family simply helps shine attention on important causes. Do royal visits actually help hospitals, or are they mostly symbolic publicity events? One of the most emotional parts of the visit came when volunteers said Kate could personally relate to patients. After all, the princess herself went through a cancer diagnosis, surgery, and treatment. But the details of her illness were never fully disclosed. This secrecy sparked massive speculation online throughout the past year. Some believe the palace kept details private to protect her family. Others argued the lack of transparency created a vacuum filled with rumors and conspiracy theories. Should public figures like Kate share more about their health, or do they deserve complete medical privacy? Behind the royal visit, the reality facing the NHS is stark. Hospitals are currently experiencing winter virus surges, staff shortages, bed capacity above 90%. Doctors reported spikes in admissions due to slips on icy roads and seasonal illnesses. So while the royal visit brought morale, the question remains, is symbolic support enough when healthcare workers are dealing with record pressures? Do visits from public figures actually boost morale for healthcare workers, or do they feel detached from the real crisis? According to reporters, hospital staff were only told VIPs were arriving. Then, suddenly, media cameras appeared. Moments later, Prince William and Kate walked in. The room reportedly filled with gasps from volunteers. But some critics question the optics. If cameras were present, was this truly a spontaneous visit or a carefully choreographed royal media moment? Do these royal surprise visits feel authentic to you, or are they media events designed for headlines? Then came the real birthday surprise. Kensington Palace released a deeply reflective video message from Kate. In it, she talks about how nature helped her heal after cancer. The video is part of her Mother Nature series, focusing on mental health, healing, and reflection. Some viewers found the message beautiful and inspiring, but others felt the poetic tone was unusually philosophical for a royal communication. Did the video feel authentic and inspiring, or slightly scripted and symbolic? Another key message in Kate's statement, she warned about rising screen time, AI use, and digital overload. She believes people, especially young people, need to reconnect with nature and real human interaction. Ironically, the message was delivered through a highly produced digital video shared online, which raises an interesting debate. Can a digital campaign really convince people to spend less time online? Is the princess right about digital overload, or is this message a bit ironic coming from social media? There's also a larger theme emerging across the royal family. Both King Charles and Prince William have heavily focused on nature, conservation, environmental causes, community connection. Many royal analysts believe this is a strategic shift in royal messaging. Instead of traditional ceremonial roles, the monarchy is repositioning itself as champions of wellness, sustainability, and mental health. but critics question whether symbolic messaging is enough in modern Britain. So, as the Princess of Wales celebrates her 44th birthday, the moment represents more than just another royal milestone. It represents recovery, a return to public life, and possibly a new chapter for the monarchy. But the debates continue. Was this a heartfelt message from a survivor or a carefully crafted royal narrative? Only time will tell. I want to hear your opinion. Do you believe Kate's return is genuine or strategic? Should royals share more about their personal health? Is the monarchy still relevant today? Comment below. And if you enjoy royal analysis like this, subscribe for more royal stories and breakdowns.